Fight fans, I have exciting news. Right now you can get 1 year of UFC Fight Pass for less than $5 a month. Now I don't know about you, but that's less than one trip to Starbucks for me. Of course, UFC Fight Pass has the entire UFC library, and as we celebrate 30 years, the Fight Pass team is coming out with awesome collections to celebrate the milestone. There's a Rose Namajunas documentary, fight lore, tons of other great content for the biggest fight fans. You can also find today's guest, Gianni the Greek, with me on UFC On the Line, where our betting experts give you exactly what they're betting for each big UFC event. Again, UFC Fight Pass for 1 year for less than $5 a month. Use the promo code MARCH when you sign up for 1 year. That gets you 50% off. That's Fight Pass for 1 year for less than $5 a month. Now time for the show. All right, we got Gianni the Greek on Fitz Nation. How you doing, Gianni?
Never better. God bless America. March Madness, MMA all around. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
It is, man. I'm going to talk to you about your gambling history. Obviously, we could go. You have a very interesting life story that I know of, but I'm going to target this to like crazy gambling stories that I want to get from you. And we were just when we popped on, you always wear this Dallas Cowboys hat. And you're from Philadelphia. And I just go, what's the deal with that? Because Philly hates Dallas and Dallas hates Philly. So, and you started telling a good story. And so I was just like, hold on, let me hit record first. The Dallas Cowboys hat, like where does this come from as a Philly guy?
This was all by design. Early 90s, I was in Philadelphia. And obviously I was bookmaking back then. And everybody was a Eagles fan, and they were good back then. I'm talking the
Randall
Reggie
Cunningham.
White. Exactly. Those years, they were that close, but never got there. So everybody was an Eagles fan. Obviously, I'm going to be Dallas, especially during that time. They were winning some Super Bowls. So it would just irritate my guys even more when I would go to collect off their Eagles loss, and I was wearing Dallas gear. In fact, if you check back, I think it was probably 90, right around there. Eagles were 4-0. Dallas was 4-0. Monday Night Football in Philadelphia, packed. It was like for first place in NFC East. Helicopters, insanity there.
Yeah.
And good thing I had a lot of friends with me. I was wearing all Dallas gear in the middle of all Eagles town. In fact, Good Morning America was there and asked me to say Good Morning America because I was wearing a Dallas gear.
America's team.
In front of Philadelphia Stadium. It was a beautiful time. But like I said, I was rolling with a lot of people. So I felt real safe. It was a good time.
Why did you say it's by like I had to piss everybody off? Like, aren't you an Eagles fan?
No. Are you kidding me? They were betting me Eagles every week. It didn't matter.
You just won, right away. You're a bookmaker, so you had to go with like the team that's going to make you money. So you hated the Eagles because you were booking Eagles bets.
Exactly. So they were betting the Eagles, if the Eagles won, I had a bad week. I had a terrible week when the Eagles would cover the spread. So when they wouldn't, I would get to celebrate a little bit and get to go collect that money wearing that Dallas hat. I had a nice Dallas jacket, a puppy jacket with a star in the back and all.
What about now?
Huh?
What about now? Like, do you like the Eagles now? Like now it doesn't matter.
No, I'm not now. Unfortunately, I don't like sports anymore. I probably have told you.
I hear what you're saying. Not from a fan, not as a fan.
MMA is the only sport I watch. I don't enjoy sports anymore. It's something you do as a kid, dude. I mean, the fact that we're grown men watching grown men run up and down the court is just ridiculous to me. I mean, listen, if you're 5'9" and playing in the NBA, I want to watch. If you're 6'11", big deal, dude. Like,
it's just another thing.
Show me a 105-pound offensive tackle, and I'm impressed. Show me a 400-pound offensive tackle, big deal. You ate your way to the NFL. You were born 6'9", and you weigh 400 pounds. And I'm going to sit there and watch 3 hours every day of that? To me, it's nonsense. Again, I use sports as a vehicle to invest, and that's it. Now, I loved it as a kid, not no more.
What got you into betting? Like, what's your first betting story? Do you remember the first bet you made?
Yeah, fifth grade. Me and Miss McCauley, gym teacher. She was actually a female gym teacher. And she saw that I was not just a sports fan, but I actually knew what the point spread was by fifth grade. Because again, in my neighborhood, we had more bookmakers than brokers, or I probably would be more of a broker because that's really what I enjoy doing. I like trading. I like numbers. But like I said, I grew up around bookmakers, not brokers. Right. So I went that way. And every Monday night, we would bet $1. If I won, I got $1. If I lost, she got a Three Musketeers bar. So every Monday during the day, I would make sure I grabbed a Three Musketeer bar on the way home from school, just in case I lost Tuesday, I could pay up. And I was a little chubby kid, so I was probably doing pretty good against her. Because if you look at like my 5th, 6th grade pictures, I was a little chubby. So I think I won more than I lost even back then. But that was the introduction to actually exchanging. When I lost, it cost me something. When I won, I got something.
Right. And then when does it become where you're in the industry? Like how do you describe understanding growing up around bookmakers? Because it's almost like, is it like mob stuff?
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of tone it down so it doesn't sound like it's a movie, but that's exactly what it is. There's guys in the neighborhood that book, they turn into South Philadelphia, who runs South Philadelphia. Eventually, you want to work for these guys that are booking in your neighborhood, so you get a commission. Eventually, they get older, they move up, you take over their book, and that's just pretty much how it goes. You either bet or you book, where I come from. And, 9 times out of 10, the guys are betting instead of booking. But I went that way after losing, of course, after realizing, the only guys making money and they have nice cars and hot broads are the dudes bookmaking. The guys betting don't look
because they're making the money. Because they're making the money. So were you like Ray Liotta and Goodfellas? Like you were a kid that wanted to get into it. I'm not saying you wanted to be a mob guy. 100%.
But
you were a kid and you looked at bookmakers with reverence.
Oh my God. Like that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to be Joe Montana. I wanted to book Joe Montana's action if I could. Like that was my goal as a kid. Yeah. I looked up to these guys. For sure. And of course, all that Hollywood glamour, glitz, mob stuff, because it's just the neighborhood I grew up in. As I'd be lying if I told you otherwise. You're attracted to that, especially as a kid. So that was a turn on immediately. Seeing that lifestyle. And because I was into sports, it was just an easy transition to betting them. And then again, like I don't like losing money. So I was like, I need to do it that way. So I just, again, started bookmaking slowly, but it grows quickly. You'd be surprised how fast you could grow as a bookmaker. People want to gamble, man, even back then. And they didn't have as many options as today.
Yeah, exactly. So when is the first time you remember having a situation where it's like serious? Like you said, it can grow pretty quickly. Like, give me the story where it's like you're in some hot water or there's tension going on, like, and you're just like, okay, I'm in the real world now.
17. Up until then, I was bookmaking in middle school, and then in high school, it was easy. Like I had a kid in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. They each booked. We met at an ice cream shop every Friday, and they turned me in their action. And I was so square back then. I used to cut out from the newspaper the lines on Monday and give each one their lines, and that's what they used for the whole week. Like I didn't know about line movement. I didn't know, like if someone got hurt, probably had the same line 5 days later. I just didn't know better. But I was also charging 6 to 5 back then. So we was minus 120 line. So I had a big edge over my players. I realize now, doing it that way. But the first time I really got in trouble was when I was 17. I was in 12th grade and I got into a jam with a serious bookmaker. The first time I was a real serious bookmaker of 17,500 and some change. I still remember the exact figure. And this has come from someone at the time who had a job at the supermarket making about $475, probably $525 an hour. And yet I got in, they allowed me to get into a $17,500 jam.
Because you were betting?
In 12th grade, I was bookmaking. One of the players was a friend who won like 2-3 weeks, won like 2 dimes, 3 dimes, giving me a percentage. So I thought this guy had he just knew what he was doing and he was just winning. So I started piggybacking his stuff as well, kind of like what I do now. Anyway, so
this sharp guy is betting through you and he's winning. So you're taking his bets and you're trying to turn around more money with bigger guys.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yet what he does, eventually what happens is like, he wasn't a sharp winning bettor. He went cold. He lost that money that he won. He lost money he didn't have. And on top of it, I jumped in also. So we owe this bookmaker, like I said, $17,500 together, and neither of us had the money. That was the first time where it got serious, where like I was worried, I was scared. It was like, this is for real. now.
Yeah.
Like, this is serious. Bad things could happen. You know, again, not movies and all, but again, if a guy
what kind
knows
of bad
not,
things?
Listen, I've been around bad. I mean, you ain't, but as far as worrying about getting killed, like if you kill someone, you ain't getting paid. So that wasn't as much as my concern, as much as just getting beaten the hell up all the time. Like until, I mean, listen, man, when they go after money back then, at least now it's a little different. Back then, bro, they'd stop you walking into a church and take what you had of your pocket. Like you'd be embarrassed though. And you don't want, there's certain outfits you don't want to owe money to that are very good at collecting. And this happened to be one of them where I knew I have to settle this debt. It's not one of those debts you could write off. It's not one of those debts where it's just on paper so they don't care. It's one of those debts where you're going to pay for it or else someone's going to buy the debt. And that's where the worry comes in. Because once they realize that I'm not coming up with 17.5, they may pay some psychopath may buy that debt for $3,000, for 500, for 2,000, whatever they think they could get. Now I have to deal with the psychopath who wants his money. That's the problem.
So it's like rounders. You sell your debt to the guy, and then he's going to come after you.
Yeah, they make that stuff.
What happened? How'd you get out of that debt?
I don't want to go long. Fortunately, we had a connect that was really high up connected who was in prison. We went and visited this man in prison and asked for help. This man told us the debt cannot be erased, but I will buy you time. You will have to pay this debt, but you don't have to fear it anymore as long as you have intentions to pay. So he made his call, reached out to who he had to reach out to, and then we eventually made payments, and it was month by month, hustling till we paid it, a dime a month, a dime a month, a dime a month. We came up with and paid for like 17, 18. We paid a little earlier, probably within like 14 months we had it paid off.
Yeah.
But we were paying that debt off every month.
Was there juice on it? Was there interest on that?
No.
Wow. So you got to a point of 17.5 and it was just like, all right, here you go.
Because we were down. Like we weren't ahead on him.
Yeah.
Like it was all gravy for them. Now, if I knew that now, I probably wouldn't have paid him. You know what I mean? Like the experience that I have now, he wouldn't have got paid. There's no way. Like what business do you have giving a 17-year-old 20,000 in credit? You think you're going to get paid? Good luck with that.
Right. What was the other story in Philly where, and you can honestly, Gianni, you can deny any of this. I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but you've told me a story and I can't exactly remember. There was a story involving a gun and a car that didn't exist. That was you gave somebody keys. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Oh,
the GTA. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Buck, if you're watching, baby, I love you, man.
Hold on. So what's the GTA? What does GTA mean?
There was a Trans Am, a Pontiac GTA. That was a car back in like 1988. There was a Pontiac Trans Am.
How did this come about? Was this a gambling debt, something?
The gambling debt, another gambling debt.
So another gambling debt. You were in debt.
In debt, yeah.
How much?
This time around, it was like probably a little above that, less than 25, above 17. The first one you never forget. After that, it happened multiple times. So you forget the exact number. I don't even want to make up figures, but it was above 17, below 25. It wasn't like above. It wasn't.
And how old are you at this point?
Under 20. I was out of high school. I was definitely out of high school, but I wasn't. I couldn't drink yet. Okay. And so what happens with this car? I remember there was a crazy story involving the car. There was a pizza shop, Mad Greek Pizza, in West Philadelphia, in the bottom, a real bad part of Philadelphia. It's called Lancaster Avenue, about 33rd and Lancaster. It's called the bottom. Anyway, there's housing projects, all kind of stuff. Make a long story short, a couple of gentlemen from the housing projects that used to hang out in front of the pizzeria, we would keep their beers cold for them. We would whistle when, cops would come. We were friends with them. They'd eat there all day. They'd do what they did out front. We sold pizza inside. Make a long story short, they used to go to Temple University, Drexel University, and help themselves to the preppy kids' car stereos and cars. They were really good at stealing cars from Temple and Drexel. So they would come with anything. I'm talking, forget radios. A friend of mine actually needed a car door. I swear to God, they brought a car door. And the one car,
this is just a group that sits out in front of the pizza shop, and they're up to no good, but they're connected. They're neighborhood guys.
Exactly. They showed up with a door.
Again, I don't want to make everything a movie, but it's in Sopranos. They sit out in front of Satrial's Deli, and those are the guys, right? Those are the neighborhood guys that are doing whatever. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just trying to paint a picture for me and for anybody listening. Yeah.
In Philly, it was the pizzerias. It was always in front of the pizzeria. That's why if you wanted to place a book, you go to, like, you want to find a bookmaker, hit 5 pizzerias. You're going to find 2 books at least. Got it. Okay. That's how it was. So I swear to you, true story. My friend actually had a car with one door was like you roll down the window, and the one they brought him was an electric window, bro. That's how advanced they were. So make a long story short, we let Bobo know we owe a lot of money. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, Bobo shows up with a GTA, a Trans Am, which was the GTA with a screwdriver in the ignition.
Okay, stolen car.
I gotta dump it. Give me $1,000 for it right now.
Okay.
Light went on to me. I said, dude, this is our break. We get the car. We call the book. We tell them, listen, I don't have the money, but I'll park the car in front of your house. And until I pay it, it's your car. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember. I'm thinking like a 20-year-old at the time as well. Keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
So you have this car for $1,000. You're going to try
$500. No. Bobo didn't get 1,000. Bobo got 500, like a small cheese pizza. You know what I mean?
Nice. 500 and a pizza, get you this car that you use as collateral, so you have time to pay off the 20,
the bookie.
20-ish.
Yeah. I swear, dude.
And hold on, but like, how did it work again? Because it was kind of a scheme where you parked in front of his house.
Dude, I swear to you, I knocked on his door. He looks out. My boy's in the driver's side, and I go to him. That's the car. Where do you want us to put it? You can't let you hold the keys. My mom will kill. Like, I can't let my mom will kill me. Like, dude, again, we're kids at that time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the great story. It's not like, I'm sure he knew we were lying. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got it.
I'm sure it didn't get past him. But I swear to you, man, the guy was like, okay, now there's the car, but what am I going to do with it? I get it. That's collateral, but we still got to settle this debt. But dude, we put it in his garage, and the car sat in his garage till we paid off this debt. And then we got the car back. I'm sure he had to see that the steering wheel, you got to break off that column. That's how they do it. You know what I mean? Like, he knew.
He knew it was a stolen car.
He had to know. Like, he knew. He just never said anything. Kept the car in the garage. I swear to you, till we
paid off.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we just took it to a chop shop and got our, got like $2,000. I think.
Well, so like you were, so were you in bad with that one though too? Like bad stuff could have happened with those guys.
Yeah, and it wasn't even my bet. That's the thing. Then that's the problem. Once you start bookmaking, you start standing for the money. So when guys lose to you, the guy I'm turning into, he doesn't want to hear it. I'm getting a cut, so he doesn't have to deal with anything. Like guys that get me accounts, I give them a cut. That comes with conditions. The reason you get 10% of what I win is so when the bookie tells you that he's not paying you because I used the bot or it was sharp, that's not my problem. It's your problem. That's why you get this commission. Like with that, you are like it comes with conditions. And that,
like somebody who has you accounts, if they don't get paid, like they still owe you.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't bet with that. That's not my problem. What do I settle with you?
Yeah,
I don't settle with them.
Yeah.
When I lose, I pay you. When I win, I give you a cut. I don't want to hear about. I don't care about who you deal with. That's not my issue.
You owe me money based on this action. Yeah.
That what I was doing came with conditions. Sure, when these guys lost, I got 20% of what they lost. But if I booked more than they could afford to lose, Nicky didn't give a shit. He wants his money come Friday, dude.
Yeah.
And that's where you learn how much credit to give. And you get, listen, man, like I say, I could write the book on what not to do. That's what I try to share with bettors. Don't take this as arrogance or anything like that. This is having walked through the fire, having walked through the flames and having made every single mistake you could possibly make before becoming successful. And now I could say it because I'm 50. I have more money than I know that I'm going to use in my life, and I'm good at what I do. But it wasn't always like that. And that's why now I could be honest. I lost a lot of money, dude. I lost a lot of money betting, more than you could ever imagine. Again, I paid my tuition multiple times to learn what I've had in this industry, but thank God it's paid me off tenfold. But there's a lot of people that it hasn't, that went down the same road and lost a lot of money, man.
Why did you keep doing it? If it's such this tough business where the stress, right? I guess if you're in it, you learn to deal with the stress a little bit better, probably, because like you said, the first gambling debt you remember everything about, and then it's just another one. But why do you think you kept doing it? Why were you just like, this is my life, this is what I'm going to do?
I believe for myself, it was a case of OCD coupled with my drug, meaning the guys I grew up with, drugs weren't cool. Like the idea of doing coke, crack, shit like that, junkies did that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like to us, that wasn't cool. You know what I mean? Like you don't like, it just wasn't. So for me, that became more or less my drug. Like when I lost my father at a young age, that became my dependency almost, where I believe it would have been drugs. It would have been something else that hurt, that being mad, that not just all that happened to me at a young age played a big role in why I went that route. Again, coupled with having OCD and having that compulsive side of me where things could snowball really quickly. Mm-hmm. That's just being honest, because if you asked anyone who knew me when I was 8, 10, 12, 15, even probably up to 14, they would not assume this is the road I went, at all. I was good in school. I had plans to do A, B, and C. Curveballs get thrown in life. We all get them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my life changed a little bit. And that's why I not only went into that industry, I dove in like, this is going to be my life. I am now a man. I no longer have the luxury to go to school. I no longer have the luxury to get a $5 an hour job. I am a man now. I now have to worry about taking care of myself, supporting people I care about and love. And I'm not even 20 yet. And the only skill set I had was that. The only one that would give me a job are those guys. Who else? Right. What else am I going to do? Like I said, I was making $5.25 at the supermarket.
Yeah.
There's not a big future in that. You know what I mean? If you're not going to go get a degree and do all that. So for me, it was like, this is my opportunity at a better life. It wasn't about being like, oh, I'm cool and a gangster. Sure, there's a side of that when you're young. But when reality hit me at about, later teens, early 20s, it wasn't even about that. It was about, this is the only opportunity I will ever have to better my life. Like the only shot I have at improving my lifestyle is this, where I don't need a degree. I don't need connections of like family. I just need to know the game. And fortunately, again, I was in that at the right place at the right time, or at the wrong place at the right time.
Yeah. When did you move out to Las Vegas? How old were you?
I left Philadelphia in 94. I went to Europe, stayed in Greece for 2 years.
How come?
I left, Philadelphia? Just things were getting really out of hand. I was part of a card house, which was a social club.
Poker club?
Yeah, that got busted. And again, I was the young kid who was, just put the business in my name. It's all good. No problem. You know what I mean? Right. Sure, I have equity. Yeah, I have equity in a social club. Hell yeah. Then the 50-year-old guy.
So did you flee to Greece because you were going to be in hot water?
It's argumentative, but yeah.
Again, statute of limitations. They must be expired by now, right? But
yeah. Then I found myself in Greece, and this has to be told because
you didn't just run. You didn't just run to Miami. You ran to Greece.
No, I went to Greece. I went to Greece. And while there, I went to England. I went to Bulgaria. I went to Italy because I had to leave the country every 6 months to get my passport stamped, or I'd have to serve military because I'm first generation.
Okay.
Like, Greek is my first language. English is my second language. A lot of people think I'm joking when I say that, but it actually is. I spoke English. I learned English when I was 5 years old in school. I never spoke a word of it. So that's why, I had to get my passport stamped. I would have had to go to the military. But what happened was, real quick, you have to hear this. Friends of mine would come visit from Philly. A friend of mine was coming, G, from Philly. I had to pick him up at the airport. I go to the Athens airport. His flight's late. What do? I go to the bookstore. The only English book they happened to have that had any interest to me said Casino, soon to be a motion picture, soon to become a motion picture, it said on it. So it hadn't even become a movie yet, or maybe it did. I don't know. Greece got the book late. Make a long story short, I got that book. It was the summertime when he came and visited me, probably late June, early July. By mid-August, I booked a flight and came to Vegas, not ever having known anyone, not having anyone here waiting for me. $600, nothing more. $600. I went from Athens, NYC, JFK, straight to here, landed at 2 a.m., and that's it, with like a dream. At 24, I just turned 25. I turned 25 in June, and in August, I was here. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
so
how
24, 25 years old, you just come to Vegas with $600 in your pocket. Your dream was to be a sports bettor?
To learn how to I was sharp enough at that time because I was moving money prior with the animals. So I was sharp enough that I knew how the game worked. I didn't have risk management. So I'd go broke, but I knew how bettors won. I understood that part of it. And it was just a matter of learning then the risk management side, which for me took the longest.
Yeah.
And I'm compulsive.
Risk management means going on tilt, going broke.
Yeah, that to me was the over your bankroll. The hardest part.
And now out in Las Vegas, you can't go on credit. You walk into the Stardust, they need money. You want to place that bet on the Bengals, they need money right then.
Exactly. And that's why I've driven a cab in Las Vegas. I've bartended in Las Vegas. I've delivered pizzas in Las Vegas. I've made pizzas and cheesesteaks in Las Vegas. I busted my ass in Las Vegas, man. And there ain't no shame saying it because I've blown broke multiple times in Las Vegas.
What's the craziest bad beat that you can remember?
The one that always sticks out, Tennessee fumble. I was putting my shoes on, swear to God. It was
remind me of the game. Tennessee.
This was probably early 2000s. I had a parlay, okay? Like a 9-team parlay, 8-9 teams, a long parlay.
University of Tennessee football?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it would have paid like $29,000. And at that point for me, that was a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like it was life-changing money at that time.
Yeah.
It would have set me up nicely. Cash money at that time. And they have the lead, they have the cover, everything.
Who are they playing?
I don't even, it's like an Auburn. I don't even want to make it up. But here's what I remember. I swear to you, I was so happy. I was already planning. This is going to go there. This is going to go there. I'm going to start betting like this. Everything's good. And I put my shoes on. I'm getting ready to go to the book. And for no apparent reason at all, it was like one of those kickoffs that instead of just running it out, they flea flickered, a fumble turns into a touchdown. And next thing I know, I lost like that. And it was such like a gut punch. It was like the worst beat because I'd already decided how my life was going to get better with this money. Not even spending it, just like now I was set. And thank God I didn't hit that parlay because all I would have done was lose that money back to the sports book. Even up until that time. I did not have the discipline, Brendan. I did not.
So if you got an extra $30K, you would have felt artificially more knowledgeable and better and more like you.
I probably would have built that up to 100K before I lost it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But
that's
you would
what
have. You're certain you would have lost it.
Oh, without a doubt. Oh yeah, for sure, sure. If it happened 10 years ago, I probably still would have lost it, believe it or not. And I know a lot of people know me from this industry and probably aren't believing that I'm saying that. Even 10 years ago, I probably would have lost it.
Well, how often do you place a parlay now?
I have to remember to do it. Like if I happen to be at the casino and I just remember.
But you do it for gambling. You're just like, let's have some fun.
It's like because I don't have time to put it in the mega bucks. You know what I mean? And because I do sports, I throw it in. It's already lost money. I never even, a lot of times I don't even look at it. I swear to God. So like after the weekend, I'll look at some parlay tickets to see if any of them cashed.
Right. But that one you were hanging on it and you were like, this is
and that's why I'm saying I would have lost the money. The fact that I was depending on a parlay, that I actually thought even at that point that it was a decent bet. I would have celebrated it as if I did something special when I didn't. It was a terrible bet. I would just happen to have won it. And that's why I would have placed more terrible bets until I lost all that money.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to place proper bets and bet size them correctly.
What story do you remember after you got to Vegas? We've talked a lot about your debt and your paying off and your mistakes and all these things and your bad beats. What story do you remember where you're like skipping out of the casino trying to hold back a big smile because you totally worked the system? Do you have an instance where you're just like, I just totally went gangster and took advantage of this book or whatever?
When I was counting cards.
Okay.
I was counting cards because
any certain instance when you were counting cards? Because for those who don't know, Gianni was on a blackjack team out here in Vegas, card counting team, much in the way of like 21 MIT guys, whatever. And so you were part of a team that did that. So now go ahead. Now tell the good one.
At the Hard Rock, they were so convinced that I was square, that I was just some idiot with money. Not only did they give me all these here, you see some of them are media, but most are VIP. They all come from counting cards.
What are those?
All casinos sitting in the first or second row of Mayweather fights.
Those UFC are tickets.
Fights. Yeah, these are all VIP placards sitting in the first, second, third rows that the casinos would give you as an invited guest.
Okay.
That's what most of them are. All of them that don't have my picture are all like that. And they were so convinced that not only did they give me 4 second row tickets to the UFC event that weekend.
Which UFC event was it?
I don't even remember.
Okay. But is that the Hard Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was at MGM. But they would give me like that. That's why I played a lot at Red Rock because of their connection with the UFC.
Sure.
Yeah, they would give the best tickets for their VIPs. But other casinos do too. You know, they have access for their VIP.
Yeah, I know Wynn gives out like Golden Knights tickets to people.
If I'm a Wynn player and I want to go see MMA, they better be able to get me some tickets. If I'm a $500,000 credit limit there, I don't care if you're not sponsoring it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's in your
so
city.
you're viewed as a square at Hard Rock.
Yep, with a lot of cash because the way we had it set up, the Indian front player was a big credit player. He had a history where he lost like 7 figures on the strip multiple years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we had him as history. We had me looking like this idiot that had cash. They couldn't put their finger on it. Does he do something illegal? Is he just like they didn't know where I was coming from. They just knew I was the cash player and I would show up with cash. Always with cash. And me, they treated even better because they knew I could take my money across the street. See, a credit player can't. I have 250,000 credit at the Win.
Right.
I could only play at the Win. I can't take that credit and go across the street. So me being the cash player, they wanted to keep me there, baby. Keep bringing their cash. So not only did they give me tickets, they said, we're going to give you $3,000 for every 4 hours you give us. So every 4 hours of play, you get $3,000 in promo chips.
Okay.
So they were paying me to pay. They gave me tickets to their event, let me stay in their nicest room for like 5 days. Everything was signed for. I was ordering shit I didn't even need. I even got these facial stuff that you brush it because I went to their spa and put like 5 of them on my room charge.
Basically, they gave you the keys to the castle. They said, whatever you want within these walls, it's yours.
That's why right now, I think now because Virgin owns it, I'm okay. I swear to you, exact words from the highest up there. If you're even waiting for the bus on our property, we will trespass you. They told me I can't even be on the sidewalks, dude. They don't even want me near the building.
And that was Hard Rock.
Oh, yeah. They went for a ride because they kept giving me things, waiting. They were waiting for me to lose. They're like, there's just a matter of time. Like, it's just a matter of time. This guy's going to lose.
And you wouldn't lose because you're counting cards and they couldn't spy it.
After going in there and setting them up. See, I have a really good way of going in. and having them increase limits on me because I convinced them I'm a progressive gambler, that I'm just doubling up and tripling up.
Yeah.
Once they have that and they know you're progressive, they know it's a matter of time.
Until you get a bad run and you're just going to start losing hand.
So they're just waiting for progression to catch up with me. And little do they know, I stopped playing progression last trip.
Right.
Like that whole trip was just for this to happen today. That whole 3 days I spent here losing a couple $1,000s was for me to take you for 6 figures this trip.
Yeah.
That whole
So that was just one. So that was one trip to the Hard Rock.
After setting them up. Yeah.
So you set them up. You set them up. So
set them up, went there as a square, lost money, did everything a square would do beautifully.
Yeah.
Till they threw $3,000 for every 4 hours, tickets to everything, pick you up and whatever, like, dude, everything, like, they could not wait to get us back to the property. Dude.
What's the best thing that you did in that time? Was that just over a 5-day stretch?
Oh, yeah, it didn't last. By the 4th day, they wanted out. They wouldn't cash my checks, dude. At the end, I had to get people to go and cash my chips. They said they were going to.
They were going to in a few days.
They were going to charge me with money laundering. They even
my
said.
Goodness, yeah.
That's how mad they were. And when I asked them, then what do I do with these chips? Here's the guy's response: why don't you drill a hole in them and give them out to your friends as keychains? Because you're never getting that money out of here. That's what he said to me.
So you had to give out chips to other. Yeah.
Yeah. True story.
Okay, that's fantastic. So the first 3 days or whatever, you're just like at the spa, nicest restaurants, going to
8 hours at the table.
8 hours at the table, going to UFC at night, eating a nice dinner. Did you have like people with you? The card
teams? We had an entourage. Dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
An entourage, and beat them for 6 figures on top of it, dude.
There you go, man.
As a team, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, any other crazy story you can think of? Because I want to get out of here before it gets too long. But this is like when I met Gianni, when we started working on the line, we would go to lunch after at the UFC cafe, and you would just, I remembered a little bit of the Hard Rock story, but not much. And you know what's crazy? By the time this comes out on Monday, Virgin Hotels. We're back at the Virgin Hotels for the UFC, and we're doing our On the Line at Virgin Hotels this Friday.
I was worried about that, but I'm like, it's changed hands and all that. So I'm
what I wonder is when the Mirage fully switches over to Hard Rock on the Strip, are you going to be allowed in there?
That's what's sad. That's what's sad about.
Do you think you'll be allowed in there?
I think so. Here's the thing with that.
It's a big corporation. It's a different property. It's a different hotel.
And even today, I could go play blackjack. If I play small limit, if I don't go to where they're going to use facial recognition, if I don't buy in for a lot of money, like I can still play, but it's just you can't play enough to make it really worthwhile for you. That's what they end up doing. Out.
Right.
That's what they end up doing.
Let's get you one more story if we can for the last few minutes. What's your craziest UFC betting story?
I was going to take you to the NBA stuff, man. I'm
going to have to get you back on the show sometime.
For
Tim Donaghy and all the Philly guys and whatever. And I read the book. I haven't watched the thing on Netflix yet, but Gianni was right in on that. So I'll have to get you back on the show and we'll just go NBA gambling scandal, basically. Do you have a UFC bet?
Honestly, the only thing that always sticks out is I hate getting cut back. Like, and that's where.
So that's the case now. So for those who don't know out there, Gianni is tuned in, obviously, to MMA big time over the last few years, right? Because of our show. And then the Contender Series, they'll limit you to like what, $1,000, $500?
And they'll move the line so significantly. Like, I know that's not a great story, but I need the bettors to understand this is what happens. Like when you become a great poker player, if you become the elite, the best poker player on the planet, you'll be on Card Player Magazine, you'll be on ESPN, you'll get a ton of deals outside of poker. And the reason for that is you're not taking their money. They're taking a cut out of the pot. They don't care who wins. That's why they promoted the big stars. They weren't hiding the Doyle Brunsons from teaching people how to play poker. They weren't hiding the Phil Hellmuths from teaching people how to play poker, where they don't want me telling people don't put parlays in. Are you kidding me? They don't want to give me money to teach people how to win betting sports because that's their money you're taking. That's what the story is of today, and especially of MMA, because I'm seeing it happen to even small bettors, guys that just focus on MMA. They're really good at it. I mean, there's young guys that could win.
It's a beatable sport.
Exactly.
It's a beatable sport. Yep.
Exactly. And they are shutting them down, not letting them get action in. And to me, that's the story. That's gross, dude. It's like, and that's why I always tell people, how do you feel when they kick me out at the blackjack table and they still let you play? Like, how do you feel? Like, what does that tell you when there's 5 of us playing and security surrounds me and throws me out and lets the 4 of you continue playing? Like, how do you feel at that second?
Yep. It's just they're siphoning money. Yeah.
Like, I would be like, oh my God, they're telling me I'm an idiot. Like, they know I'm going to, like, they don't care. But that guy's thinking, not that I'm smarter, but that I'm not willing to just give them my money. So they're like, we don't even want to deal with you, dude.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say on the Contender Series and betting and changing lines. Do I have this memory right? You wanted to bet Mike Malott. He was like minus 170. And you I think you went to the Westgate and you put down like $1,000 and they moved it to minus 180. And you're like, I'll take another $1,000. And they moved it to minus 190. And you're like, I'll take another $1,000.
Yep.
Like you bet Mike Malott like crazy in his Contender Series fight. And then he goes out and he beat the guy in like 45 seconds.
And I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have taken the worst of it because I have other outs, but I was just angry. Like, dude, it's $1,000. Like, you guys put out all these tickets of guys betting $500,000 and all this stuff. And I'm trying to bet a dime. You can't manage risk enough to get action on the other side. Like, I'm that big of a liability. Go, move your line. I'm going to bet it again. Move it again. I'm going to keep betting it. I'll keep betting it because you're that old. I'm going to keep burying you on that bad number of years.
Mike Malott's the best, dude. I got to get you two together. He's the nicest guy ever, too. He's great. I like that. I like that he's off to a good start in the UFC. Gianni, thanks for joining me. Catch The Gambler's Perspective with Gianni the Greek and Nick Kalikas on UFC Fight Pass Podcast Central. Catch us, UFC On the Line, Gambling Insight, and Gianni's bets for each big UFC card. Thanks, G.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks for watching Fitz Nation on the UFC Fight Pass YouTube channel. You know, my bosses would love it if you hit that UFC Fight Pass logo and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.